When something goes wrong in your life, where does your mind go first? Is it blaming someone or something else? Your partner said the wrong thing. Your boss made a terrible decision. Someone didn't show up when they should have. Imagine you fall asleep that night and dream about it. You dream your wife takes your car. You dream a stranger attacks you. And when you wake up, you think you understand. The dream confirmed what you already felt. It agreed with you. But what if the dream was never about them? The majority of our dreams are not about the outer world. Most of the figures in our dreams represent aspects of our own being. That means the wife who steals your car in the dream may very well be your own unlived feminine nature, unconsciously sabotaging your ability to move through life. The enemy in the dream may be your own shadow. The lover may be your own soul. This is the subjective interpretation of dreams. And what makes it so difficult to accept is that it asks you to take back everything you've projected outward. It asks you to own what you'd rather blame on someone else.
We've said that every element of a dream represents some aspect of the dreamer's personality, but that's not always true. There are dreams which are obviously about outer events. Many people dream about the death of a close relative, and in fact they do die. When you interpret a dream, how do you know whether it's about an inner reality or the outer reality? For example, a man dreams about his wife stealing his car. Is she actually stealing his car? Or how do you interpret the dream?
There one comes to the most ticklish problem of it all. Because the question, he will be inclined to think, there you see, that's exactly what she's doing. She's always taking away my ways of moving about. She's always interfering. And you are not so sure. It might just as well mean that it is a so-called projection, namely that his own feminine side is stealing the car, and that he only projects that onto his wife. He thinks his wife does it. He sees it in her, so to speak, while he's really doing it unconsciously to himself. So that's why if one wants to interpret these dreams correctly, one has to know the whole marital situation, one has to know the wife and have an idea of her objective behavior, and then one can evaluate, no, that is a projection, it's really what this man is doing to himself unconsciously, or it refers really to the wife. And sometimes it also does to both. That's the problem, what we call subjective or objective interpretation. Referring to an outer object, the wife is really stealing the car, or referring to the subject itself is stealing its own car with his left hand, so to speak, or his feminine unconscious side, he's stealing his own car. I have never made a statistic, but I would think that about 85% of the dream motifs are subjective, and that therefore it is recommendable to mostly interpret dreams subjectively, to always say, what is it in me which does that, instead of taking it as a warning against outer people.
The ego reads the world as something that's happening to it. Someone hurts me. Something threatens me. The world is acting upon me. And the dream, at first glance, seems to confirm this. You were wronged in waking life, and now you are wronged again in the dream. But the dream has a different purpose. Jung understood dreams as a self-regulating function of the psyche. They don't simply replay the events of the day. They compensate for the blind spots in our conscious attitude. They show us what we refuse to see. And what we resist seeing above all else is that the source of our suffering is usually internal.
The dream says, look here, for once you have tried to be genuine when you asked this man, do you love me? And inferred at the same time that you love him. That was your true feeling. And you got hit, but you did not get hit really by him, the partner who told you he's not interested in you. You got hit by somebody else. You got hit by this karate hero, by that horrible man who hits with a karate gesture your throat. Now this karate man is within her, as if the dream says you did not get the shock from outside, you got it from your own nature. Which reminds one of the fact that Jung once said, there is no difficulty which we ultimately are not to ourselves. We are our own difficulty. And her love difficulty is within herself. She has such a karate fellow in her. And she can only therefore develop further or become herself if she realizes that the terrible shock she fetched herself in the outer world is a problem in her own nature, and that she has to face up to the fact that she has such a hard, fighting man in herself who devaluates her as a woman.
There is no difficulty which we ultimately are not to ourselves. We are our own difficulty. This powerful attitude removes external excuses and strips away the comforting narrative that the world or the other person is the problem. It turns us back toward ourselves. This woman's dream could so easily be read as a reflection of what happened to her. A man treated her as an object, and now a violent figure attacks her. The objective reading writes itself, and yet the dream places the karate man inside her psyche. He is not the outer man who rejected her. He is an inner figure, a part of her own masculine nature that strikes her down the moment she dares to be genuine with her feelings. This is what makes Jungian dream work so different from simply analyzing your life. When you interpret subjectively, every dream becomes a mirror. The bully and the thief are your own inner shadowy parts. The one who devalues you is the part of yourself that has been devaluing you all along in the background. And this is precisely why we resist the subjective reading. Because the objective interpretation lets the ego off the hook. If the dream is about them, then the problem is theirs. I can remain an innocent victim, but the moment I say, that figure is me, that violence is coming from inside my own house, I come closer to taking responsibility and to doing my deepest work. Jung called this the withdrawal of projections, and he considered it one of the most essential tasks of the second half of life. When you catch yourself saying, "They did this to me," try to ask, what in me is doing this to myself? You are pulling a thread that leads straight to the core of who you actually are. This is an invitation, not a comfortable one, but perhaps the most honest one the psyche can offer. The dream is your own depths, reaching up, asking you to courageously look within. The world reflects itself in her dark green eyes. Her lenses search for a glimpse of silent and eternal truth with a burning desire. A wave crashing violently. A great shark gliding close. Through the deep, she nakedly observes her shadow against an inner wall. Some light enters, and some sinks into the depth, never to emerge again. Unknown faces gaze at her from below, while a million riddles pull her deeper, submerging her into the dream.